Hey everyone, it's Wednesday. How do we get past hump day with a big name of something decadent? There's no more decadent big name series out there than the PastryArchy series by Duclaw. This is chocolate cherry dessert stout. Oh, does that sound sweet and scrumptious? Let's find out what it's all about after the theme song. Happy Wednesday, as usual. Welcome on into the Midland studio with your host, Nutmeg 2 Palmetto. Sometimes the week gets a little long and you need something decadent, sweet, and filling to get you past it. There's not too much more out there more filling and sweet and decadent than the PastryArchy series by Duclaw. The one I've done in the past, you may remember, a little while ago now, but Blue Ice took me to the woodshed over it because he didn't like me singing up the praises of the peppermint one from Christmas a couple years past. But this one is probably, I'm thinking, going to be a little bit more acquiesced across different palates because there's a lot of goodies in it. This does, of course, qualify as a dessert stout. If dessert stouts, pastry things, pastry stouts, pastry sours, whatever the case may be, are your thing, if that's how you get down, work your way on down to the comments. The first one pinned is a link to a playlist of all the type of different dessert beers and pastry beers that I've done in the past. Click on that, work through, and I didn't categorize it so much as stouts, between stouts and sours, I just categorize them as pastry beers. So a lot of times that sweetness can definitely be, polarizing to beer drinkers, but a lot of times it can bring a lot of amateur beer drinkers into the mix of craft, and that's ultimately the end goal, is not to bring more people into craft and away from the big box macros. So Duclaw is out of Baltimore. The PastryArchy series is a long-running series. This one, chocolate cherry dessert stout. It's a whopping 9.4%. Out of Maryland, I recall at some point seeing Baltimore in some cases and Cambridge in some places, but the can does say Baltimore. Speaking of the can, of course, they put a nice big slice of chocolate cake on the front, presumably with cherries inside of it. Edition number 23, limited release. The PastryArchy, a stout that will have you saying or shouting, "Seconds please." This splendidly smooth pour is crafted with tart cherry and rich chocolate, dark and decadent. This brew is best served with a generous slice of crumbly cake. Well, I don't have that, but if they did their thing, and they usually do, it'll taste like a slice of chocolate cake for sure. Untapped. Fairly decent amount of check-ins, 2,438 total, 2,265 unique. Over 2,100 of those were ranked for a pretty solid, respectable 3.98 ranking. ABV, as I said, 9.4. IBU listed as 45, so right in the middle of the road. A stout that will have you saying or shouting, "Seconds please." I think this is just what I read on the can. I did. So let's not waste any more time and read that again. Let's crack this big, sweet, decadent boy open and Let's see what it's like. Let me tell you something. I can smell this already. That is one potent aroma. I should really have the double coasters like Jay from This Guy's Thoughts has. Let's get the nose on this. Well, actually, first let's just admire this beauty. That is more than 2 fingers worth of head on that. Pretty frothy up top. Dark as the night sky. There's a little bit, I'm holding up to the light, of course. There's a little bit of a brown hue at the bottom. But, I mean, it's mostly big frothy bubbles and big rich, deep, dark, stout color. Oh, God. Oh. That is, now, when I smelled this just from a proximity basis, it smelled like dark chocolate to me. But like going full in, it's really more of a milk chocolate aroma. And you can kind of dig out the cherry a little bit. It's very, very faint. Very faint, super subtle. But it's in there. It's definitely there. It's a very rich aroma, milk chocolatey. And that cherry is hiding. It's hiding in there, but it's there. You can pick it out. Oh, that's gonna be a dream. Let's not waste any more time and take a sip. Oh yeah. Excuse me while I peer into the camera and gaze into your eyes, because that would be quite appropriate for something like this. This is definitely that type of like Valentine's Day rich dessert. I think by the time you see this, Valentine's probably would have passed. But yeah, that's something special for sure. The cherry it's there, but it's hard to really pick out if it's kind of just like a tangy, subtle additive, or if it's really prominent. To me, I kind of get like a tangy mouthfeel, which is obviously nothing to do with chocolate. So it's probably the cherry. So I feel like that's what I feel like that's where the cherry's coming through the most. It definitely has an overall chocolatey flavor. It's not light by any stretch of the imagination. Don't get me wrong on that. Don't misinterpret me, rather. It's not light at all, but it doesn't have this like thick, heavy, rich type of doesn't have this like thick, rich type of heavy weighing you down, so to speak, flavor. The chocolate it's there, it's strong, but it's pretty light, or I should say rather the booziness. The booziness is there, it's noticeable, it's fairly strong, it's moderate, but it's not, it doesn't feel like you're biting into a hunk of chocolate, and it doesn't feel like it's just kind of sitting in the back of your throat and going down to your stomach and, oh, this is gonna take forever to digest. You know, like it doesn't have that heavy weight feeling to it. It's actually, for what it is, for as dark as it is, as decadent as it is, and as boozy as it is, it's actually fairly medium body and very light aftertaste. Very, very solid. Pastry style beers are your thing, whether it's a stout or a sour. Go ahead down in the comments. The first one pinned is a link to a playlist of all the pastry style beers I've done in the past. If you like what you saw from me, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, so exactly when these videos drop. If you want to recommend a beer to me, or maybe even send me a beer, email me, nutmeg2palmetto@gmail.com. And if you want the rest of my day-to-day nonsense, follow me on my social media channels, TikTok and Instagram, @nutmeg2palmetto. Oh, that's easy to finish, but still very rich. So I'm going to sip on that. And carbonated. Cheers, folks. I'll see you next time.